Hello and welcome to Dad Surviving Divorce. I'm Dwayne. Today I want to talk a little bit about the beginning struggles of this whenever you're still attached to your ex. I see this a lot with new people that come to this channel, and they're in the early stages of their breakup and they're still really attached to their ex. And I made a video the other day about, some things to deal with in the beginning stages of it, but I didn't really touch on this particular thing, and I wanted to take a moment to talk about it because I think sometimes I lose sight of it just because it's been a long time since I've been through it. But I do relate to that early stage struggle that you have whenever you're really still trying to not connect to your ex, but you're trying to make sense of it all. One of the things that's really complicated, and I don't think it really matters whether you leave or your ex leaves. Primarily it happens though when your ex leaves because you're not prepared for it. In my situation, I left, but I didn't necessarily leave because I thought that that I didn't care for her anymore. I just couldn't deal with the chaos. So that puts me in a little bit of a different situation than a lot of you. But the significant thing that I don't mention much is there was a period of time, roll the clock back, 4 or 5 years before the separation actually happened, where had the relationship fallen apart then, I don't know if I would have been able to handle it. So when you guys are saying things like you want your family back, or you can't, you're having a hard time wrapping your head around this new reality, I absolutely get it because I can relate to it. There were times where it was a nightmare. And it's one of those things where when you're in the situation and you feel like it's horrible to be in it, but it's horrible to be out of it. At least when you're in it, you know it, and you feel like you have a family or a purpose, or your whole identity is wrapped around the family. It's wrapped around your relationship. It's wrapped around your marriage. It's wrapped around your kids. And the idea of that falling apart seems more scary, and it is more scary than what might be on the other side. Now, one of the things that happened with me, and maybe this will be, maybe this will help, I'm not sure, but towards the end of the situation of my marriage, I got to the point that I just couldn't deal with the chaos. Now, there's a fine line to where before I got to that point, the idea of losing the marriage was just too devastating. The idea that everything, that everything that I had built into this illusion was going to fall apart was too much. What happened for me, and it happened over time, is it got to the point where I'm like, this can't be the rest of my life. This can't be the way things are gonna be. It can't. And once I started to get to that point, the idea of taking a risk on the future, it was still scary, but it wasn't as bad. Meaning that I felt I owed it to myself to try something different because I couldn't keep living in the same chaos and torture that I was living before. Now, and to be perfectly honest, in that mindset, I figured, what the heck did I have to lose? It's like, this is slow. The relationship was killing me. It was depressing me. It was just sucking my will to live. And I figured, well, what the heck? You know what? If I try something different, if it doesn't work, well, I'm no worse off because, this isn't working anyways. And then there's a chance, an opportunity for something different. Now, I get that if you're in the beginning stages of this and you're still trying to wrap your head around it, it's probably not something really easy to think about or to really, dissect. But I really want you to take a moment and just think realistically about the relationship. Don't look at the illusion parts of it. Don't look at your part of your relationship where maybe your ex was giving you some attention and you think that that's part of what the real relationship is. Really think about how you felt with the marriage, okay, with the relationship. I mean, were you getting your emotional needs met? Were you getting your, physical, your intimacy needs met? Were you, did the person make you feel like they actually loved you and cared about you? Now, if you can take a pause and take a realistic look at that, I mean, more than likely, if you're at this channel, there was problems with your relationship. More than likely, the answer is going to be no. There wasn't, genuine emotions and stuff there. Now, that's the really critical part, and it's incredibly painful. I mean, I absolutely understand that. In my beginning stages of this, it was really, really hard for me to deal with that. It was really hard. I mean, it was painful, and there were, I was being consumed with depression and sadness. But the thing is there's life on the other side of this. There is an opportunity for you to be able to have, even a genuine relationship with yourself, to feel good about yourself, to find the person that you're supposed to be, to help you find the life that you're supposed to have. And when you're able to remove that chaos and that fake love and that conditional love from your life and focus on yourself, and then be able to roll that into focusing on time with your kids, it makes a huge difference. It changes everything. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't. I wish it did. I wish it did for me. It took me, I've talked about this before. I basically was in chaos for about a little over 2 years after the relationship fell apart. I initially, the beginning stages of it, I felt pretty good because I was like, oh, thank God I escaped. I have an opportunity to have a life. And, it was like in a horror movie. It's like she reached out from the ground, grabbed my leg, and dragged me into the pit of hell with the triangulation and the parental alienation and all that crap that toxic people do because they just can't let go. The thing is, and it may hurt like hell, but if you can make it through it, if you can persevere through this, you have so much waiting for you on the other side. It is hard. I mean, I don't even know if I could really describe it, but it's a level of peace and hope and, genuine love that you have waiting for you. So if you're struggling with this, and I've talked about this part in a bunch of different videos, is this whole divorce thing takes a long time. It's the court process is slow. Don't let yourself get wrapped up, consumed by this moment that something needs to change or whatever. Just take a breath. You have time right now. You really do have time. And I know it hurts. I know it doesn't feel good. But if you're struggling with this, don't beat yourself up. Give yourself some space to slow down. Do some real inner work on yourself to really look at what the relationship was, what your situation was, what the reality of it was. Now it's going to hurt. It is. I mean, I wish that, like I said, I wish there was a magic pill that I could say, you know what, read this passage, take this pill, listen to this meditation, do these things, and it will make you feel better in an instant. And it's a slow, gradual process, but if you work on it, the reward is so amazing. It really changes your life, and it changes your life, and it changes the life of your kids. Now, that's not to say that this whole thing isn't a colossal mess, because it is, and your world is going to change, but it doesn't have to mean the complete destruction or obliteration of your world and your future. Okay, I know that a lot of people are struggling with this. I hope that this helps. I know there's not much that really does help, but maybe you can see somebody who was in your situation, was in your spot, because I was. And I didn't think I was going to make it through it. I didn't think my life was ever going to get better. I thought that I was going to be consumed by this nightmare, that my ex was going to crush my will to live and destroy everything. And she didn't. And yours won't either. You have the power within yourself to take back control of your life. Now, that doesn't mean you can have the life that you want with them, because you can never control another person, but you can change your destiny, your future, and your path going forward. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. And you know what? I'm not going to say the rest of my stuff, because this is a more focused video. Just take a deep breath, and I will chat with you guys in the next video. Take care.